I gave Connor an informal assessment to assess his reading comprehension, his basic reading, and his written expression. This assessment was a piece of paper. It had 5 questions on it that he had to answer from a read aloud that I read to him. So while it still did focus on basic reading, it wasn't solely focused on that. I did not want to overwhelm him, so I read the book aloud to him. During the assessment, Connor was very accepting. He liked listening to the book. He talked about how it was kind of an odd book, and it was. He asked me questions during it, and he was engaged. I do feel like he gave the best effort that he could, and not once did I hear a complaint out of him, so that was great. After I read him the book, I gave him the paper. I told him to please write his name and date on it. He would ask me questions like, what does this question say? How do I answer that from the book? I would always encourage him to do his best and try to think about what we talked about and try to jog his memory a little bit without giving him the answers. Looking at the assessment from a reading comprehension point of view, he did fair. There was a lot of things he forgot, so I found that I was having to jog his memory more often than he was just able to recall and write back on the paper. For basic reading, he really was able to read the questions pretty easy. He didn't ask me much about that. It was more of he read the question and then asked me how should he answer it. And then I had to kind of encourage him to think of his own answer. The written expression was probably the worst because, he could not spell the words. He was having to finger spell a lot. His punctuation was not there. His capitalization was not there. His spelling was not there. Sentence structure was not there. He did really great with it. His attitude was good, and his strengths were that he was a good listener and he was able to listen well, which we see from his assessments that he was given during his evaluation. The only thing I would change is the font that I used on the assessment. I think it kind of confused him a little bit. He looked at the word date at the top of the paper and said, "Why is the T upside down?" I just had to explain to him that I didn't choose the right font and that I should have picked something a little more plain and simple, easy to read. Overall, he did good, and I found that the results from this assessment did correlate very closely to what was in his folder and the testing that was done during his evaluation process. Thank you.